Welcome to episode number 32 of the Colombia Soccer Pod. It is Monday, February 7th, 2022. I had to look it up because I feel like the last few days have been kind of a mix of dates, and I don't even know. So it's the 7th, January, see? There you go. February 7th, 2022. My name is Juan Pimiento. Thank you so much for joining us. You can follow me at Pimiento Football. On Twitter, you can follow us, of course, on Twitter as well, at Concu Soccer Pod. On Instagram, at Colombia Soccer Pod. Facebook, if you're watching us, you already do. The Colombia Soccer Pod. Make sure to, again, like us, follow us, subscribe. That's how you get the news, the updates. That's how you get notified when we go live. As we do today, back to our regular show. We had a whole lot of content, a whole lot of discussion last week and the week before, in the middle of the international break for Colombia, of course. 2 losses for Colombia. We broke it all down with the different shows. We had instant reaction shows for both the loss to Peru and the loss in Argentina, and especially the after Argentina game. The after Argentina game. Say that 3 times fast. I broke down all the conclusions, all the feelings, of course, and we were in our feelings definitely last Tuesday after a devastating loss. And now we get to put Selección aside for a little bit. I'm kind of glad because it is painful. It is painful to talk about. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to put it aside a little bit. Again, we're back to a regular episode. So this is the episode you're going to get on the regular every Monday, 8 Eastern, 8 Colombian, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, of course, is your regular Monday night Colombia Soccer Pod. So here we are. And what we do here, of course, is focus a little bit more on Liga Betplay, the Colombian League, of course, the games happening over the weekend. We have also the games happening midweek. Sometimes we have Colombian League. Sometimes we have Copa Libertadores, which is our big topic today. Copa Sudamericana, which is starting, of course, in a month. And any news stemming from Colombians abroad, of course. And that's kind of what we do here on the mothership, if you will. The main show, which is our Monday night show. So again, thank you for joining us. And like I said, if you subscribe, if you like, you don't have to even worry about it. You know, if you're watching us live, if you like our page on Facebook, you'll be notified right away as soon as we go on the air. You can watch it on the air live. You can watch it later, of course, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Thank you so much for watching on Twitch. And if you want the option too, if you can't be home at night, you don't got the time to watch the show live, you don't got time to watch it, on streaming, you can also subscribe to our podcast. So the audio of the show goes to podcast form and is uploaded by the end of the night, just a few hours after we go live, via streaming. You'll have the podcast version. So iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud. That's where you can find the podcast version of this show. So you're not going to miss a single thing. And, of course, on the social media channels you see on my left, you can communicate with us. All our instant messaging, private messaging is open on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And, of course, email us as well, colombiapod@gmail.com. You have a chance at the end to copy down the email so you can send us your thoughts, questions. I want to hear from you, opinions, suggestions, observations, anything. This is for you. This is for all of us to talk about this. So, episode 32. Let's talk about it because we have today on tap, we have the big topic, which is, of course, Copa Libertadores. 2022, big-time players back in the league. Big expectations with them, of course, as far as Copa Libertadores is concerned. So we'll talk about that as Copa Libertadores begins tomorrow night. It's already February 7th, so February 8th is the first day of Copa Libertadores. We'll break it all down. How confident am I? How confident are you that Colombia can go back to relevance in Copa Libertadores? It's been a while, and it's been ugly. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about, of course, the teams that are in it break down expectations and, again, realistic outlooks for all four of them. And we have to give some time to Luis Diaz. We'll talk about him at the end because what an image. What a weekend it was. And what a last few days, because this happened, over the course of the last week. And it culminated with that great moment, of course, this past weekend at Liverpool. So we'll talk about that and Superliga. If you're a Cali or Tolima fan, we got dates and they're coming soon. So we'll talk about those as well. Let's get started. On your screen right now, you see the breakdown of the path initially for Colombian teams in Copa Libertadores. Again, all action begins tomorrow. So tomorrow and this week and next week, we're not going to see the Colombian teams yet. It'll be just the first stage, the 6 teams you see on the screen. But out of the 6 teams, 3 of them are going to be rivals. Well, 2 of them actually are rivals, of course, of the Colombian teams. So we have in the pre-stages, if you will, we have Millonarios facing Fluminense. That's a tough one. That's a real tough one. And then we also have Atlético Nacional, who are waiting the winner of the Olimpia and Universidad Cesar Vallejo from Peru. That matchup, Olimpia, they know them pretty well. Olimpia is a team that eliminated Nacional from their last participation in Copa Libertadores in a very ugly fashion, if you will. Olimpia also the club that Nacional beat for their first Copa Libertadores back in 1989. And again, looking forward, should both teams advance, and we sure hope so, Millonarios then would face the winner of either Nacional or Olimpia. So we're already screwed because the Colombian teams will face each other. So we already know that we're one team down in Copa Libertadores for the group stages. That's the luck of the draw. That's what we got, sadly enough. So that's the problem now with this Copa, is that we're already going to be a team down, and the competition hadn't even begun yet. Yeah, let me turn the light real quick. There we go. We got a brand new lighting. We're upgrading here on the Colombia soccer pod. Make sure it's not going to fall and kill me on the air. So yes, we have 4 teams. One of them is going to get knocked out. Hopefully, best case scenario is that, at least both, there we go, both make it to the final, the third stage of the elimination stages. And then Millonarios Nacional, who, by the way, also have some history in that 1989 Copa Libertadores, and a very bitter one, and not, something that we like to remember very fondly, especially if you're a Millonarios fan. So I'm wearing this jersey, not because, Nacional is in the tournament, but especially this jersey. This is the jersey with which Nacional won the 2016 Copa Libertadores. I'm going to put this back up on the screen just again so you can look at the path, because I talked about a lot of things really fast, and that's the path. So especially if you're a fan of either team, there you go. That's the path you're looking forward to. This is a jersey that, again, Nacional wore 2016 with Ronaldo Rueda and that great team coached by Rueda with Franco Armani before he made the jump to River Plate and then eventually to a World Cup with Argentina in Russia. With Daniel Bocanegra, who ended up at Olimpia, funny enough. With Davinson Sanchez, the last bit of play for Colombia before he made the leap to Europe, joining Ajax. If you remember, Davinson actually waited, or Ajax waited for Davinson to play Copa Libertadores and ended up going all the way before he joined Ajax and eventually played a Europa League final against Man United. Alex Enriquez, the captain, the veteran who lifted the cup. Farid Diaz, the midfield was packed. Sebastián Pérez, at his best form. Alex Mejia, who's back now with Nacional for this push 6 years later. Alejandro Lobo Guerra played for that team as well, of course. and was one of the, quite frankly, one of the best players, especially in the stretch, the home stretch. Magnelli Torres, El Crack, the number 10. We had a young kid who we talked about before, and you probably heard a lot about in the last month. Marlos Moreno, his big shining moment before everything fell apart. But that was his shining moment. Was Copa Libertadores. Opposite him was Orlando Berrio. Also, before making the leap to Brazil. That team had a lot of players who ended up going to bigger and better things in the last few years. And the guy who kind of really, I think, propelled Nacional to an even higher level, Miguel Borja, who joined midway through, and again, just key goals in every phase, it felt like, against Sao Paulo, against Rosario Central, against Independiente del Valle in the final. Borja was the catalyst. He was kind of the missing piece, a big-time goal scorer. So, 2016, it's been 6 years now, almost. It'll be in May, or June actually, for a Colombian team not just to win, but to be relevant, to make a final, semi-final, anything. I mean, this is going to be painful, but I'm going to go through really quick what it's been like for Colombian teams since 2016. It's been embarrassing. I mean, you followed this. It's been downright embarrassing for Colombian teams. Let's go through it. 2017, we had Nacional, of course, defending champions. Colombia had 5 teams in 2017. Had Medellin, Santa Fe, Millonarios, and Junior. Of those teams, Millonarios fell in the pre-stages. Junior fell in the pre-stages. Then in the group stages, Nacional was a disaster. Last place. Santa Fe gone. Medellin gone. So there we go. 2017, everybody was gone by the group stage. 2018, Nacional, Millonarios, Santa Fe, Junior. The usual suspects. We had Santa Fe and Junior made it through. Then in the group stages, Nacional made it through to the round of 16. Santa Fe out. Millonarios out. Junior out. Nacional, of course, in the round of 16. Lost to Atlético Tucumán. Big upset. Fast forward, 2019. We go again with the 14s. Tolima, Junior, Nacional, and Medellin. Pre-stages, Nacional bounced by Libertad in penalty kicks, which was another embarrassment. And I like to forget it. We had Medellin bounced by Palestino in the pre-stages. Group stages, Junior, last place. Tolima, third place. Gone. 2020, fast forward. Junior, Cali, Medellin, Tolima. Pre-stages, we had Tolima out by Internacional. We had Medellin going, they made it through, past the pre-stages. Then in the group stage, Junior out, first time around. America, last place, out. Medellin, last place, out. Last year, finally, Cali, Santa Fe, Junior, Nacional. We had Nacional again bounced by Olimpia. Or by Olimpia. In the, I'm sorry, you know what I'm talking about. Nacional made it through. In the group stages, they were bounced in the final stages of the group stages, last place. We had also Junior and Santa Fe in the same group, third and last place. And then America bounced. So you get the picture. One team, one single team. Amazing. One single team made it past the group stages in the last 5 tournaments. So when you read at the top, it says, Colombia Resurrect. It's because Colombia is dead and buried in embarrassment and shame in Copa Libertadores. It's been awful. And Sudamericana hasn't been that much better either. Sudamericana starts in a month. So we'll talk about that next month, March 8th. Libertadores has been embarrassing. Again, and it's amazing because going back to, again, 16, to having a team win the tournament, all the way down to having just one team, the same team, Nacional, advancing once past the group stage, it's shameful. It's abhorrent. I mean, and it's been talked about for years. What's going on? Why does this happen? Why can Colombian teams even produce something of a presentable run in Copa Libertadores? I don't know. I can't give you the answer. I feel like trying to lump everything and the classic conclusion is, Colombian soccer is not as good as we think, as good as we want it to be. It may seem like the local tournament is good, but when we go abroad, we can't cut it. Which again, results wise, is true. I mean, you can't deny it. It is true. But I can't give you really a broad, all encompassing solution or conclusion to this last 5 years of what's been happening. So here we are. I think again the only conclusion is that we gotta do better. We gotta do much better. And again, this year is gonna be a challenge because we're gonna be down a team already. We know one team is not gonna make it to the group stage. At the most, either Nacional or Millonarios. Cali and Tolima are in the group stage. The group stage has not been drawn. Last few years, we knew, okay, if the teams in the pre-stages qualified, okay, they're going to face this team and this team and this team. We don't know. The draw is going to take place after the final pre-stage. Then we'll know. And again, we might have a situation where, like last year, Junior and Santa Fe ended up in the same group. I mean, we might have two of the three teams in the same group. Who knows? And if you want to look now at the group stage, then we're going to talk about, okay, the heavy hitters. If we want to make a run at the final, semifinal, whatever, the road goes through Palmeiras, the defending champions. It goes through Flamengo. It goes through River Plate, who are super loaded. It goes through Boca Juniors, who they're always tough to play, of course, in Copa Libertadores. It goes through Independiente del Valle. It goes through Corinthians. It goes through all the other teams. I mean, you can go through the list. Even the Paraguayan teams, Cerro Porteño, Libertad, Colo Colo, Vélez Sarsfield, Emelec. I mean, because now it's to the point where you don't even know if you can make it past a group featuring teams from Ecuador, from Chile, from Venezuela, from Bolivia. It's that bad. And I don't want to exaggerate. I don't want to paint a grim picture, but it is that bad. It's the facts. And I'm here to deliver the facts first and foremost. Because what good would I do if I tell you, no, I mean, we're going to get past those teams? No, we're not. We don't know that. We don't know the draw. We're going to have, I mean, at least one of the big teams probably in the group. And then we're going to battle out, for second place with a lot of the teams that I just mentioned. You can throw in Nacional de Montevideo, Peñarol. You can throw all of them in. There's nothing for certain. Let's get that third team in there first in the group stage, and then we can talk about, who can make it past who in the next phase. It's going to be tough. I really think it's going to be tough again because because the road, if you're Millonarios, I mean, again, getting past Fluminense is not going to be easy. And then if Fluminense goes through, then Atlético Nacional has to face them. So, I don't know. We'll see. But let's break it down a little bit, the teams that are in it. So, again, Millos, Nacional, Cali, and Tolima. Are we certain that they're ready? Are we certain that they are actually geared up to make a run in this Copa Libertadores? I talked about it, a week ago. I did my big preview for the Liga de Play, for the Colombian League this season, because I figure, especially this year, Liga de Play is so star-studded that it's almost must-see. I mean, every weekend, every time, it feels like it's gonna be a big matchup with big stars. Again, with Gio Moreno, Dorlan Pavón, Miguel Borja, Who else? We got the Teo Gutierrez. We have Michael Rangel back. We have Wilson Morello back. We have a list of great players, really good players who are either coming back from abroad, veterans, or players who are coming up. Jacer Asprilla is still in the league for now with Envigado. So Pacho Mesa is back. Dairo Moreno is back with Bucaramanga. Andres Ibargüen is back. We found out today that Johnny Gonzalez is back. Johnny Gonzalez, MLS fans may remember him. He was here for about a minute with LA Galaxy. So it's a very heavy hitter league locally. But I just talked about it. Will it translate internationally? Can we just get past Fluminense? That's the problem I have, and that's the biggest doubt I have, because Millonarios is the team that is, I feel like, the least ready for Copa Libertadores. And they face the toughest road, most likely. Millonarios, right now, in Liga de Play, are on a very tough situation. 5 games, they got 2 draws and 2 wins and a loss. In 5 games, they scored twice. One of them was an own goal, which was the way they got the victory this past Sunday against Unión Magdalena at home. An own goal. The other goal was way back at the beginning at Pasto. Diego Erazo, who was, one of the, not the big signing, but the signing, of course. They lost Fernando Uribe, who went to Junior. They bring in Diego Erazo from Equidad, and he's literally been the only goal scorer with 1 goal. Millos has a tough road. It's not like they have a bad team. I mean, we've seen Millonarios actually solidify something very interesting. They still have Macalister Silva. They brought in Eduardo Sosa, the Venezuelan, playmaker. They still have Ginás and Roman and Bertel. They brought in Alvaro Montero. That was the big signing for Millonarios. Alvaro Montero in goal. They got Larry Vasquez to replace the guy who went to Junior. His name escapes me right now, the midfielder. But there we go. So they got interesting teams. Steven Vega, Selección Colombia guy. They got players. Is it enough? No. I gotta tell you, I don't think it's enough. Right now, I wouldn't tell you that they're gonna make it past Fluminense. So I don't got much hopes to begin with Millonarios. And if they make it past Fluminense, then they probably face Nacional. Atlético Nacional, they were one of the two. I think they and Junior were the 2 teams that shook the transfer market. Heavy. Nacional so far so good. They haven't been, I don't think, overwhelming the league so far. They have 10 points. They have won 3 out of 5. 1 draw, 1 loss. The 1 loss was against Tolima. I'll get to Tolima later at home. Feels like Tolima owns Nacional at this point. The draw was on the debut against Cortuluá, which was a shocker. Nacional, I feel like they're still pretty much a work in progress, because they still are working in the big signing, which was Gio Moreno. He's finding his way in. Still to this day, he officially debuted against Millonarios last weekend. Played against Tolima. Played this past weekend in the win over Deportivo Pasto in Pasto. But every time off the bench. So again, I feel like the best 11 still not ready for Nacional. Even then, I mean, you're going to have someone who's going to have to sit out, because when you have a team with Gio, with Harlan Barrera, with Rifle Andrade, with Jason Guzman, with Daniel Mantilla, with Dorlan Pavon, you're going to have to sit someone out. Right now, it's Gio Moreno, because again, he's working his way fitness-wise, form-wise. I think he would be a starter, if again, when Copa Libertadores comes up for Nacional, which is not until the end of February. Gio Moreno is a starter. It's a matter of who is with him. That right now, Daniel Mantilla has been a very good signing for this team. Then what? I feel like Dorlan Pavon is the other guy. So to me, you're gonna have a situation where either you play Dorlan Pavon up top and bring in either Harlan or Rifle Andrade, or you sit one of those two, put Jefferson Duque in. It's tough. It's tough. Behind them, they have a pretty good midfield too. Alex Mejia's back, and he's been a pretty calming presence so far for Nacional, something they didn't have really for a number of years. Besides him, again, it could be Sebastian Gomez, who's also impressed now that he's back into getting significant minutes. It could be Nelson Palacio, who's been the guy playing so far. So there you go. Options for Nacional there. I still kind of regret that they got rid of Brian Rovira, because that would have been a fantastic foursome to rotate in and out in between Libertadores, Copa, and Liga. On defense, it's pretty much the same. Gerson Candelo, Felipe Aguilar. They got the big signing that's Alvaro Angulo, the big up-and-coming left back for not just locally but for selection purposes from Aguilas. The goalkeeper situation, it's still maybe not up in the air, because it feels like, for as much as controversy as, we've seen from Aldair Quintana, the comments that were leaked really against the fans don't want Aldair Quintana, thankfully for Nacional. Kevin Mier, also young up-and-coming player, has settled down the goal for Nacional. And the bench is a luxury. It's an embarrassment of riches for Nacional. A bench with, again, Harlan, Gio, Rifle Andrade, Cristian Castro, Devenish, who came back from a stint in the Portuguese league, also a big prospect as a center back. John Duque, that's the other guy I was missing. John Duque, former Millonarios player, great midfielder. Copa Libertadores comes around, I would expect John Duque and Alex Mejia to be the pair at the on midfield. Hayan Palacios, the list goes on and on. Ruggeri Blanco, it goes on and on. So Nacional have the players. Can they put it together? That's the big question. And especially, can they put it together? Can they find the perfect 11? Can they get into a groove, into a confidence, into the perfect chemistry between now and February 24th? In 3 weeks. Can they do it? Can they coexist? Can they get into the groove when either Millonarios with either Olimpia or Cesar Vallejo come to town for Copa Libertadores? Then in the group stage, Cali and Tolima. I think of the 4 teams, the one that I trust the most today, I think maybe even without a doubt, is Deportes Tolima. Deportes Tolima are, it seems like, amazing because they haven't missed a beat, yet they had a lot of turnover for a team that won the title a year ago, that became the runner-up last tournament, losing to Cali in the final. They got a lot of turnover, and so far, again, in 5 games, they haven't missed a single beat. It's amazing because it just seems like every player that they brought in for this season in particular has worked. It's been amazing. From the Paraguayan, Gustavo Ramirez has been amazing for Tolima. He's like a guy that they were missing. And again, for a team that has seen such a high level, to think that they were missing someone, to even consider that notion it's amazing. But that's Tolima. They really hit it out of the park so far in with again Michael Rangel back. It feels like they plug and play the right team, the right players this season. So the results are there so far. 5 games, 4 wins, 1 loss. And the 1 loss came at the start to Medellin on the road. Surprising. Since then, 4 in a row. They're the leaders right now. I think they're the ones who I trust the most, quite frankly, to make a run in Copa Libertadores. The the only thing though with Tolima is again going to the big stages. Who are they gonna face? And we won't find out until the beginning of March when we know that the 32 teams in the group stage. Before then, I don't know, but if they're gonna have a group of death with a lot of heavy hitters, can Tolima do enough to actually make a run and just make it past the group stage? That's all we ask. That's all we ask. Someone to make it past the group stage. Tolima, again, well-rounded team despite losing guys like Alvaro Montero, and a lot of players. Omar Albornoz, who's now with Junior as well. Um, they got a great team. Juanfer Caicedo, again, Rangel, Gustavo Ramirez, the Paraguayan. William Cuesta, the goalkeeper, has been really good. Brought back Andres Ibargüen. And you talk about goalkeepers, they'll still have Alexander Dominguez, the veteran Ecuadorian, still there, waiting to play. Brian Rovira, who I mentioned before, they brought in from Nacional. Anderson Plata, Juan Camilo Angulo, the veteran right back from Deportivo Cali. Still got Juan Pablo Nieto. Still got Joandre Orozco. They also brought in Jason Lucumí, the former America and Nacional player, and former Elche guy, by the way. Played in Liga, the Spanish league, La Liga, with Elche. So they got a really deep team. I trust them. I think they can really make a run. Cali, oh boy, it's been a rough go so far for a team that ended up in such a high. Winning the title last season after switching coaches mid-tournament last semester. Bring in Rafael Dudamel, and they just catch fire, and they win the title. Beating this Tolima team in Tolima, which is even more impressive. They also had a lot of turnover, but unlike Tolima, they haven't been able to put it together so far with the current squad. It's been a struggle for Deportivo Cali so far. Excuse me. They just lost, for example, Harold Preciado, who's just debuted for Liga MX. He's gone. They bring in, again, Johnny Gonzalez. Maybe we'll see his on loan from Benfica. They kept Gutierrez, which was probably the best thing they could have done, but they lost Andres Colorado as well. They lost again Jason Angulo to Tolima. The right back that I just mentioned as well. They lost him to Tolima. They lost a number of players. Again, it's going to be tough. I think this season might be tough for Cali. And the problem with Cali, too, is that, again, they got the advantage of not being in playing Copa Libertadores until the group stage, which is way up ahead in the schedule. End of March. But right now, they're second to last in the league. 19th place in Liga Betplay. Only ahead of Pasto by 1 point. Have won one game so far. Have Deportivo Cali in the tournament. Beating Pereira last week. And they just haven't figured it out. Whatever was working for Dudamel hasn't appeared yet. And the problem with that, again, is that now they're playing catch-up in the league. When Libertadores comes around, will they be able to balance the two? Will they have the depth of squad to fight for a spot back, in Los Ocho, in Liga Betplay, in the top 8, and maintain, of course, their form in Copa Libertadores in the group stage, not knowing, of course, who they're going to face. So the picture for Cali is looking very, very tough. Again, just hope that Dudamel can figure it out like he did last year. Hope that they do have enough players to balance the two. I mean, they all do. All 4 teams have to, of course. By Cali, I feel the most because, again, the pressure is going to be on both tournaments. Tolima and Nacional are off to a good start. So, if they slip a little, in Liga Betplay, in favor of Copa Libertadores, it's fine. They're going to be fine. And, again, both of those teams have the squads to, I think, manage the load of the 2 tournaments. We'll see. Let's hope so. Again, it's going to be a tough go for all 4 teams. If I had to rank them in terms of who is the likeliest to make a run, and when I say a run, I'm talking like quarterfinals, semifinals would be fantastic. Make his dream. I mean, how long has it been? Again, 6 years. Before that, it was 2004 with Once Caldas. Who would have thought that they made a run and ended up toppling the giants of South America, Sao Paulo and Boca Juniors in the final? Nacional in '89, they toppled Olimpia. Olimpia were ended up becoming champions the following year. They had a great team. So again, it's not like I don't see a situation in which a Colombian team is favored like Nacional was in 16, because Nacional was among the top heading into the tournament. On paper, there is no Colombian team up there. I don't think so. Not, again, given the rivals, given the recent history, I don't think there's a Colombian team that I can say are among the favorites. But can they make a run? Absolutely. They have the capability on paper, the players to do so. Especially, again, if I had to rank them, Tolima number 1, Nacional number 2, Cali number 3, Millonarios number 4, as far as my trust level for each team. That's Copa Libertadores again. Starts tomorrow. Next week, Millonarios will debut in Copa Libertadores in the second stage. We're going to have Millonarios against Fluminense at home, February 22nd. So not next week, but in 2 weeks. Then February 24th, Nacional going on the road to face either Olimpia or Universidad Cesar Vallejo in Peru. And then the draw. We'll see what happens. Hopefully good things for the Colombian teams. Colombians abroad, it's very short. Look, I know that today we got big news about Duan Zapata. It looks like he might miss the rest of the season because of the injury that kept him away from the Colombian national team in the World Cup qualifiers against Peru and Argentina. News came out today. Looks like he's done for the year. So a rough go for Duan, sadly, because he looked like he was picking up steam and getting back into his old scoring form for Atalanta. But he looks like he's going to be gone. But the big news and the only news that I want to share is something you probably saw on social media, on TV live, like I did, which was amazing. Luis Diaz. In the last few days, we've seen Luis Diaz arrive in Liverpool, shake hands and joke and hug Jurgen Klopp, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andrew Robertson, who's going to be his partner on the left side. And I'm looking forward because Luis Diaz on that left wing, hopefully, with one of the best left backs in the world. My God, that's going to be awesome to watch. Sadio Mane, Mo Salah, all the big names. I didn't think he was going to play. And then I see him coming off the bench in the FA Cup game the other day, and he gets an ovation. He gets the "You'll Never Walk Alone" treatment from the Liverpool faithful, and he gets an assist. And if you look at the play, not just any assist, I mean, it was a very Liverpool type assist, right? Very gegenpressing, counter-pressing assist. He gets the ball back inside the opponent's box, gets it back, makes a move, and finds his teammate, I forget who it was, who scored for the assist. And he's already there. It was almost like his welcome to Liverpool, right? What a sight. What a great sight. And again, a great guy who came up, through the ranks from the very bottom, the youth systems, playing in the indigenous Copa America, getting discovered, of course, making it all the way to junior, shining for junior, making the leap over to Porto, shining for Porto as we've seen in the last few years, now going to Liverpool, shining, of course, for the Colombian national team. Only 25, so he's hitting his stride, and he can get even better. And we can hope and we can expect for him to get better. How much time he's going to play? Who knows? Because taking playing time away from Salah and Mane is going to be tough. But I trust that Luchito Diaz is going to have a very good time at Liverpool. Maybe he'll end up a starter. Maybe either Salah, whose contract is still up in the air, by the way, can end up leaving. Injuries can happen, and Luis Diaz can shine. And maybe he'll make a jump to another team. Another big team, to get minutes. Someone who can value him even more. But for now, again, just happy he debuted. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's all over social media. His debut, his assist. It was awesome. It was awesome. Great news for Colombians abroad. We'll keep an eye on things because we have Colombians playing this week, this midweek, in league action. This coming weekend, of course, we'll keep an eye on it. And on that note, let's talk about really quick the Superliga, because we have dates for the upcoming Superliga. Not just any dates. Tomorrow is the first leg of the Colombian Superliga. Cali and Tolima. I'm looking forward to it, not just because of what I talked about, how loaded Tolima is especially, but the final they played last year in December was really fun. Really, really good. I will remember that final really for years to come, because it was really good. Clash of styles. Teams that were playing at their best. And only Cali won by the slimmest of margins. So I would expect something similar. I feel like maybe now Tolima has a bigger edge because of what I just explained, a few minutes ago. A bigger edge than Cali. But I think it should be fun. The first title, the cool thing about Superliga is that we get, the first title. The first winner. The first trophy, of course, of the Colombian season. So we got them playing in Cali Wednesday night, not tomorrow, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Colombia time, same time as our show. Wednesday night, Cali Tolima, and in the rematch, February 23rd, 2 weeks later, Tolima Cali at the Murillo Toro in Ibagué. I'm trying to remember if there's something at stake, because in the past, the Superliga would give out a place in the Copa Sudamericana. I believe that it doesn't this time. I don't think it gives a spot in any tournament. Let me look this up really quick, because again, in the past, it's always given a spot in Copa Sudamericana. I think a few years Copa Libertadores as well. But I don't think this year it does, from what I see. So again, it's just the trophy of the Superliga champion and the first winner of a trophy in 2022. So looking forward to it. We'll have the recap next Monday, of course. Next time we join you, as we're going to wrap things up on this episode 32. Next time we come on the air will be next Monday, as our regular shows are back each and every Monday. Valentine's Day, February 14th. I know a lot of you are probably going to have plans, Monday night, with your significant other, with your partners, if you will. Gonna be out for an outing, nice dinner, doing your favorite things, catch a show, catch a movie, something maybe at home, something romantic at home. If you want some sweet romantic Colombian soccer talk, tune in next Monday, 8 Eastern, 8 Colombian, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. If you can't join us live, like I talked about before, you got plans, you can catch us later on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, and on podcast. If you rather, just kind of sit the night out from watching the show, if you rather just kind of listen to it on the road to work on Tuesday, subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcast, SoundCloud. Listen to a show. You'll have it in your pocket, on your device by Tuesday morning for sure. If you're going to join us, you got plans for Valentine's Day. I know a lot of you are not very fond of Valentine's Day. Join me. I'll be here. I'll be here with you. The missus will understand, for sure. She'll get it. She knows the deal. Join us, because I'll be back here again. Like it says right there, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, to talk about what happened, in Liga B Play over the weekend. Any news coming out of Liga B Play? Torneo de Play, the second division. Any news from Colombians abroad? Any injuries? Hopefully not. Maybe more Luis Diaz action. We'll see what happens with Luchito as he gets more playing time. Any other big news coming out of, again, the European leagues, South American, Mexico, MLS. I'll be here for that, of course. And have a little bit more of a preview, of course, of Millonarios' debut and Nacional's debut in Copa Libertadores coming up next week. So on that note, thank you for joining us. Again, write us. Email colombian@colombian.gmail.com. Social media, right there. DM us. We're wide open, and follow us. Concu Soccer Pod on Twitter. Instagram, Colombia Soccer Pod, Facebook, the Colombian Soccer Pod. Follow us, subscribe, DM us, write us. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Can Colombian teams finally show something in Copa Libertadores? Does your team have enough to make a run in Copa Libertadores? What's your team missing? What do you think of Liga de Play so far? We got some fun things going on. Dairo Moreno debut for Bucaramanga this past weekend, already scoring. We got the surprising teams so far. Jaguares, again, up there in the standings. Alianza Petrolera, again, up there in the standings. Envigado are also having a good start so far. 5 games in with our boy Yasser Asprilla finding his way back. He hasn't even started yet. Hasn't played yet for Envigado. And they're already in 8th place. Cali struggling. America kind of struggling. Millonarios also can't score for the life of them. So we'll break it down next week. Again, Monday night, Valentine's Day, live or on the road. So join us again. Have a great rest of your night, whatever night it is for you.